Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am, but right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song.
Hello, Star Wars fans. You know, there's 303 days until Christmas 2025. And you know what today is? Today is February 25th, exactly 2 months after Christmas 2024. And many people would say, Santa, it's Happy Christmas in February. For Star Wars fans, you know, we've got a lot to talk about. Let me just start off the top of the show by talk about a couple things. One, I have been very sick. I got the flu last Tuesday. I ran a fever until Friday. The flu broke Friday. And then I've had this upper respiratory thing going on, coughing, hacking, just terrible for the last few days. Went to see a nurse practitioner yesterday, went to the Minute Clinic and got some prescriptions. Feeling much better. Still have the respiratory thing going on. So if I break into a fit of coughing, I'll try to mute myself, but understand that that's what's going on. Secondly, we are headed for a little vacation time, holiday, if you will, for those of you over in Europe. We're going to down to Tennessee. We're going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and we're going to spend a few days down there with our daughter Kayla. 4-day weekend. Would take Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and return Monday. So there will be no live stream this Friday. So I broke in today. We have a news flash instead of news of the week, and then we'll be back again the following week. And we've got news to talk about. So let me first of all say hello to our good friends Jedi Mike. Hello, Mike. Thank you so much for being here as always. And it says ready and optimistic when we hear from Meg. I did listen to Meg's video today. I thought she did a fairly nice job of it. Some things to talk about there. Hello, Leaf. You're safe because I am here. Good to see you, Leaf. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your support. And Star Wars Fits, my good friend Karen, thank you. Brian Stone, hello. Good to see you. Ducky Momo, there's one of our OG guys from the very, very beginning. Good to see you, Ducky Momo. Who else do we have with us? KG, hello. Oh my goodness. Got too excited there. Brandon, hello. Good to see you as well. And the Sabersmith. Hope you're feeling better. I'm getting there. Thank you so much for that. And it says, you look fantastic for somebody who's been so sick. Well, thank you so much. Medications help. I hug you. Good. Hello there. Good to see you as well. Yeah, I need another Z-Pack. Hit that like button. Thank you. Yeah, it's been something. Let's see. Let's get caught up with the chat. And then Rebel Sith. Hello. So good to see you again. Says, I really think Star Wars has big things coming. I have a good feeling about the change. Disney dripping DEI. Now maybe with KK retiring. Well, Well, we're going to talk about that DEI thing here in just a moment, Rebel Sith. So thank you so much for the comment. Do you ever make it to Nashville? You know, Saber Smith, I've been wanting to maybe take a trip to Nashville. In fact, we thought about taking Nashville as our destination for this trip. But in the end, we ended up deciding to go over to Gatlinburg. I haven't been to Nashville proper. We were looking for things to do in Nashville, and our daughter Kayla decided she wanted to go to the touristy place. So we're headed over towards Dollywood and those things. So, but Nashville is certainly on the list of places to stop by, right? Baymax, hello, good to see you as well. Baymax, thanks so much for your help with the thumbnail today. Oh my goodness, I'm still dealing with it, right? Somehow the KK retirement story has returned, and you know what? There's some things to talk about here. Yeah, I will absolutely when we're headed down that way, Sabersmith will let you know. Um, Look at there, Ducky with 34 months of membership. Is a KK really retiring, or is this just morphing into her second stage of this boss battle? Going to replace Bob Iger? You know, we have not heard about where she's going, and it does bear mentioning that this announcement has not been corroborated. Even the major trades who are reporting it are still reporting as a retelling of the original story, which was posted not by a major trade, but rather it was, I've got it here, Puck, P-U-C-K, Puck News, which has been spotty, fairly reliable, but not always. And it came from Puck News, and then everything else started reporting off of it. And I would say I saw that one of the major trades said that they do have a corroborating source. So we've not seen anything official. End of year means what? December 1st, December 25th, December 31st, when? And what's the plan? We're going to talk about that just a little bit, right? We're going to talk about some things and maybe try to discuss with some amount of clear-headedness, right? Not leading with just emotions and you know what you may feel about one thing or another thing. I keep hearing people talk about the terrible things Kathleen Kennedy has done because of the things they hate, and then kind of glossing over or maybe even giving credit to the things they like. And at the heart of all of that is subjectivity, right? What you like, what I like, what somebody else likes may be different, right? And for the many of the things that people attribute to Kathleen Kennedy, don't really aren't directly part of anything that she has done. Although as president, CEO of the studio, certainly bears some accountability. And this has been used for a lot, right? It's been used, and it goes back to the sports analogies, and it's really difficult if you don't follow sports, you don't keep up with those things. But I'm fairly certain everybody has at least some familiarity that regardless what the professional sport franchise is that you love, that you follow, maybe none of them, right? Whenever the team as a whole is doing poorly, the head coach typically will get relieved of their duties and sent packing somewhere else. And then they'll hire a different head coach who used to be somebody else's head coach to come in and be the head coach of this team, right? And all they do is kind of a round robin carousel of one head coach who used to coach here, now coaches there. And I'll give you an example for the NFL here in the United States, the National Football League. We had the Super Bowl just recently of the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. And the head coach of the Chiefs, he's won 2 Super Bowls in a row. Right? He was up for his third in a row. Andy Reid is the dude's name. Andy Reid, by all measures, a fantastic NFL head coach. Well, you know where he used to coach before he was fired and sent packing? He used to coach in Philadelphia, and he didn't win enough in Philadelphia. You're like, well, wait, if he was such a good coach and he's won so many Super Bowls, why did they fire him? Well, they fired because the things that were happening at the time when he was coaching there were not at the expectations that the franchise had. Had they maybe kept Andy Reid throughout, he probably still would have won Super Bowls. And the Philadelphia Eagles just won a Super Bowl with a different head coach. So it's not to say that Kathleen Kennedy, as president CEO of Lucasfilm, has done a poor job. Many things to credit her for. And she's a great producer. She's a Hall of Fame producer. Many people talk about how amongst Hollywood producers, she's a first ballot Hall of Famer, right? She is absolutely top of the list. However, the fans of this franchise, Star Wars specifically, Lucasfilm more as a whole, but certainly Star Wars as a brand within the Lucasfilm story group, right? The Lucasfilm production company, have had hits and misses with the fans. And that's where I think a lot of people are saying, well, it's past time for her to move on, get somebody else in that seat. And I go back to saying, well, be careful who you wish for, because you may not go from a Hall of Fame producer to a not Hall of Fame producer, right? That's very likely. You're going to get somebody very, very different, or maybe the same, just not as capable. So let's just go, Ducky Momo, stay away from Philly, Santa. They throw snowballs and batteries. You know, those people in Pennsylvania, they're all sketchy. Ducky's in Pennsylvania, so that's why. You got to watch those Pennsylvanians. I tell you what, they're battery throwing people. My Ohio State Buckeyes, when they go play out there in Happy Valley, they like to throw batteries out there too. That is not nice. Not nice. Those Philadelphia, those Pennsylvanians. You got to watch. They're trouble. Baymax says, do you think the successor will be appointed by KK, or Disney have their own ideas? They're planning a direction change across all their studios. I'm sure it's a collaborative decision, Baymax. They were going to ask Kathleen Kennedy, who is your successor? And we've mentioned this before on the show. Succession planning is a big part of major corporate business. Everybody at a certain level and above has to have a named individual that if tomorrow they couldn't show up to work and they were taken from the workforce, who would step in and do their job tomorrow? Hello there. Oh, they're expected to be coaching that person day to day. They're expected to be mentoring that person day to day. They're supposed to be keeping that person in the loop on all their decisions day to day, so that tomorrow, if they were removed from the workforce, that person could step in and continue the job. So I am absolutely positive that Kathleen Kennedy has a named successor who has been there for some time, and that person is well known to Disney, Bob Iger, right? She has to have that person named, and she has to give on her regular reports to her management, right? The board of directors, who that person is and what she's doing to prepare that person. She has to do that. That's what they all do. So I'm absolutely sure that she has picked that person in it. Whether when she retires, if Disney will decide to keep that person or bring in another person is really the question. Will Disney say, well, okay, we appreciate the succession planning has been for, let's say, Linwin. We'll talk about Linwin here in a minute. But let's say that it's Linwin. We appreciate that's who it is. And I saw the other question, why would we hold off the retirement until the end of the year when it's going to suck all the oxygen out of the room between now and then? And all the discussion between now and then is going to be laden with this decision. Will this movie continue when the successor comes in? Will this show continue? What new movie or what show will the new person bring in? What direction change will the new person have? What things will they continue? What will they drop? All that's going to be part of the questions when you hear announcements at Celebration coming up here in just a few weeks. There's going to be this little asterisk in many people's minds saying, well, wait, that's under Kathleen Kennedy's leadership. When she leaves, what is going to be maintained? And unless they say, for example, hey, Kathleen Kennedy's retiring and here's her successor, it's Linwin, and they sit down with Kathleen and Linwin, much like they did when George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney, and they sat down and George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy were at the table and they talked about all the things they were going to do. And then people say, well, look, she backstabbed George Lucas. She didn't, she lied. No, folks, that's a big exaggeration. In the manipulation of the stories to fit narratives has kind of built this straw man, if you will, of who Kathleen Kennedy is and what Kathleen Kennedy does. So a lot of times you have to overlook some of that stuff because it has very little basis in truth. There's nuggets of truth, but it's all been spun, right? KK, Disney Legend Award at Star Wars Celebration Tokyo. Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right, Jedi Mike. I think there's going to be a year of victory parties for Kathleen Kennedy, a year of celebration of all things Kathleen Kennedy and what she has done. You're going to see special after special about her iconic Hall of Fame career and what she has done in this industry, for this industry. And it's all going to be rose-tinted glasses. Absolutely. Look for that, right? Will says Kennedy has no doubt had her influence on some of the greatest movies we know. Absolutely. Real Ben, hello there. Hello there. Yeah, you may not go from a Hall of Fame producer to a Hall of Fame producer, but if you go from a Hall of Fame producer to a pretty good producer, then maybe it's worth a change. You're right, Ben. And we're going to look at some things here in just a second. What side of Pennsylvania doesn't associate with those dirty Easterners? Right. It's great. I've got friends in Pennsylvania. I've got family members in that Pittsburgh area there where Ducky resides. So it's good. We all poke fun. We have a good fun. Mumbo Jimbo, hello. Hope you're feeling better. I'm getting there, Mumbo Jimbo. Thank you so much. Let's see. Okay, so not gone yet, right? Confused by the thumbnails on YouTube. I know people have already moved on. She's not gone yet, right? Star Wars fits. Hey, seems the NFL are playing a game again in Dublin in August. That's not the NFL. K-State versus Iowa. That's college. So you got NCAA football going on there in Dublin in August. Kansas State versus Iowa. You may also get an NFL game, but that's typically in London, I believe. So maybe not there in Dublin. Hope she's preparing to have an awful thick skin. You're not wrong, KG. Let me get caught up with the comments here. How's Padawan Peanut going with the flying confidence? Hey, it's going really well. Peanut is flying to me several times a day from her stand over there. Perhaps during the show, even she may come over to visit. She's doing much, much better. Her flying confidence, especially here, flying across the room, is getting very good. So you may see her here a little bit. Mumbo Jimbo, I've never been a KK hater. I like some stuff she's done during her tenure, dislike other stuff. Yeah, the problem is we're not in the room when decisions are being made, when discussions are happening. And some of the things that are attributed to her are oftentimes, at least what I see, are misrepresentations of the facts, right? They take one little bit and then they twist that bit and they turn it into a story. And then that becomes a running narrative. And a lot of things you hear about Kathleen Kennedy are those running narratives that have very, very little basis or foundation in reality. There's some there, right? But it's, yeah. Let's see. Trying to get caught up. Yes, college football is better. I agree. Oh, let's take a look at a couple things, right? I'll bring this up. This is from our friend Bespin Bulletin. Just talked to Bespin recently. He's alive. He's out there, and now he's starting to publish again. And he's publishing the same story that came from Puck, right? And it says the trades are starting to also re-report this, and she is retiring at the end of the year. There's very little on here as far as substantive, who is taking her place and what's going to happen. But let me bring this up, and I know Star Wars Meg has brought this up, but all you have to do is go to Lucasfilm. Who are we? Leadership team, right? So this is Lucasfilm's website. Who's the leadership team at Lucasfilm? And who do you suppose will take Kathleen Kennedy's spot? So let me ask that to you, chat. If you're here in the chat, who do you think will take Kathleen Kennedy's job as president, CEO of Lucasfilm when she retires at the end of the year? Should she actually retire at the end of the year? And maybe there's two questions. Who do you think should take her place? And who do you think will take her place? That may not be the same person. So just wondering, who do you think will take her place? And who do you think should take her place? But let's take a look here and think about Kathleen Kennedy's succession plan and who is that Lucasfilm leadership team that may already be on that list, right? Ducky Momo says, I wager it's a female. Fitz says, Plagueis. Very good. So we have Kathleen Kennedy, president, right there, leadership team. Very first one, Kathleen Kennedy, president. Well, who's this right next to her, like on equal footing? All right, who is on this equal footing? Lynwyn Brennan, president and general manager, Lucasfilm Business. So of Lucasfilm Business. So let's just look at what Lynwyn Brennan. Let's take a look at what her profile says. Right, so she's president and general manager of Lucasfilm Business. As president and general manager of Lucasfilm's businesses, plural, Lynwyn oversees all divisions, including Lucasfilm, Industrial Light and Magic, ILM, and Skywalker Sound. She is responsible for the development and execution of Lucasfilm's business strategy and implementation of company vision. Lynwyn oversees the Lucasfilm franchise groups, including marketing, integrated planning, games, publishing, consumer products, publicity, asset management, and content strategy. She also looks after Lucasfilm studio operations, including human resources, finance, and legal. And so that's all. I mean, that's a pretty comprehensive list of responsibilities as president and general manager of Lucasfilm Business. That's pretty impressive. And to me, I agree with Star Wars Meg that Lynn Brennan is probably that succession plan name that's on Kathleen Kennedy's uh, documentation, right? Lynn Brennan is probably the person that Kathleen Kennedy is mentoring, meeting with, and taking with her in all the decisions that she makes, preparing her to be the next president and CEO. KG says, how long has she been there? Her career with Lucasfilm started in 1999. So she's been there for 26 years, something like that, right? Something like 26 years. Um, so I would think Filoni would have had a say in this decision. Oh, well, we'll get to Filoni here in a second, right? Ducky Momo, I would choose Jon Favreau for name recognition and publicity, but I doubt he would ever want the job anyway. So this is a very good. You guys are great. That chat, you're doing an awesome job. You guys are absolutely doing an awesome job. Favreau would be the name recognition I would agree with as well. Interesting thing when you look at the Lucasfilm leadership group, Jon Favreau is not an employee of Lucasfilm. He's a contractor. When you go down the list, Jon Favreau is nowhere to be seen. He is not a Lucasfilm employee. As such, I would guess that Kathleen Kennedy could not have his name listed as her successor because there's a couple of things that would have to happen. One, they would have to hire him. And what is his price? Is he available? Would he take it? Right? You say, oh, of course he would take it. Come on now, you're being silly. Well, of course, I think so too. I think Jon Favreau absolutely would take it. And maybe Disney will announce the hiring of Jon Favreau as the next president and CEO of Lucasfilm. But that has not happened to this date, right? At this point, it's Lynn Brennan. That's who somebody said. I saw the great question. Said, then what's Kathleen Kennedy's job? When you read Lyn's job and say, oh, my goodness, she's running everything. What's it say here? Kathleen Kennedy, this got recipient of the Academy's prestigious 2018 Irving whatever award, Producers Guild Award, 8-time Academy Award winner, one of the most successful, respected producers in the film industry today. As president of Lucasfilm, she oversees the company's 3 divisions: Lucasfilm, ILM, and Skywalker Sound. That's the exact same responsibility Lynn has. Those same 3 divisions listed there. Kennedy was a producer of this, that, and the other thing, right? Long list of things. She's produced all these things, and she's produced all these other things, and recently she's gotten these other awards. Lynn Brennan, I'm absolutely convinced, and I don't work for Lucasfilm. What do I know? I'm just a knucklehead working in his basement, right? Lynn has got to be the succession planning person there, right? So that's it is so obvious, right? Let's see. Ben says, Santa, here's my ideal scenario. Lynn or however named Lynn, right, as the pseudo Peter Safran position. Favreau, another creative, as the pseudo James Gunn. Joint presidency like DC. You may not be wrong, Ben. I'm not sure what's going to happen. We'll have to watch if Favreau will be hired by Disney to be like president and CEO. Or maybe we end up with a president and a CEO. Maybe Lynn ends up being the CEO of Lucasfilm. And what do I know? I'm a knucklehead. I know nothing. Maybe Jon Favreau is the president and Lynn is the CEO. Who knows, right? The one thing that many people will notice with Lynn, she has absolutely 0 production credits. You go through, what has she produced? Right? She's not a producer. She's a business manager. And the president CEO of Lucasfilm is a business manager. That's what the job is. And many people who say, well, Filoni should be the next president CEO. No, I don't agree with that because Filoni is uh, a uh, content creator. He is right. He's doing other things. He's not corporate, right? What about Felonious D? Not corporate enough? Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Do we need name recognition? Right? Maybe, since there'll likely be a scapegoat for everything. Yes, KG, you're exactly spot on. It's the scapegoat position. You mentioned earlier they should have a very thick skin because that's going to be a problem, right? Baymax, a nuanced conversation can be both credit KK for what she's done, yes, but also acknowledging the overall decline where Star Wars brand currently is. The L's have been significant. Baymax, I agree with you in large, not exactly, because it's difficult to say which things are good and which things are bad because that's all subjective. If you look at numbers, though, and you just look at trends and you look at the general online discourse, it's not cut and dry as maybe some people think. There's a lot of kudos and credits for the things that you hate the most of all the things to hate. There are people who love more than all the things to love. So then you start to say, well, whose opinion counts more, mine or yours? Right? And it comes down to that kind of argument. Ours or theirs? Who's the most important? And that's a difficult discussion to have. So I don't know all of the ins and outs of the discussions about it. I do agree there's a lot of goodwill to be had with a big name. So if they were to come in and say Jon Favreau, for example, is taking over the role, there's going to be a number of people who are going to be very, very excited about that, right? Yeah, you choose Jon Favreau. There's going to be a lot of people who are super excited about that because of the name recognition, the list of accomplishments he's had. What has he done as a president and CEO of a company? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Um, so it's the exact opposite. Is, let's say, Lin Wen, right? Lin Wen, what has she done as a president of a company? She has a long list of accomplishments. She has a great deal of experience, over 20 years of experience working with Lucasfilm, and certainly well qualified to take over the role of president. She already has the title of president of the same three companies that Kathleen Kennedy does. To me, it's an obvious choice. Lin Brennan. And we go underneath the leadership of Kennedy and Brennan, and then you have their executive vice presidents, your next tier of management. There you see Carrie Beck, Dave Filoni, right, chief creative officer, Momita, Pippa. These are all senior vice presidents, executive vice presidents. Well, we've got the three executives, and then it drops to senior, and then on down it goes, right? We got lots of senior vice presidents that just go on and on and on. And then it's assistant chief counsel, and then regular vice presidents, and down we go, right? So there's tons of vice presidents of different roles, different responsibilities. And then we got some directors down in here, and it's and assistants and stuff like that. So Lin Brennan, keep your ears open to see what happens there. Will Lin be that named successor when the official retirement announcement is made from Disney and Lucasfilm, or will they name, say, Jon Favreau? That would be my second guess. That Jon Favreau would be the person that I think most fans would like to see from name recognition, and a chance that they may actually do that, keeping Lin Brennan in the same role that she is in, right? Lin may keep the same role and then hire John Favreau as Kathleen Kennedy. So we would see this picture change to John Favreau. This picture stay the same. That would make sense to me. Baymax, it makes sense to have a creative as the public-facing head. Yes, as while business person stays in the background, writing the checks. That's right. That you're 100% right, Baymax, and that's where I could see them putting John Favreau in this spot and leaving the rest of it the way it is. Our friend aggressively relaxing. Kennedy told one story for over a decade, set during different eras, using movies, TV, games, novels, comics, theme parks, and all critically financial success. Legend. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Star Wars is definitely a bit of a decline. Yeah, there's another point of discussion I want to have. We'll get there in just a second. Not saying Filoni should be president. I'm just curious his input on the decision. That's a good. I don't know. That's a good question. Does he have any input on the decision? I imagine the decision is primarily being made between like three people. I think it's being made between Kathleen Kennedy, Lin Brennan, and Bob Iger. Those are probably the three people making this decision. Then they will float the proposal to the successor, whether that's Linwin or Favreau. We'll just use that for now for working terms. What do I know? I know nothing. What? Right? They'll be working out the details on all of that with them, right? Yeah, the rotating creative differences. Yes, there's been a ton of problems, right? Ton of problems, and that's where we go back to that head coach analogy, right? Not a bad head coach, just the circumstances. Yeah, the other thing you'll see happen is the same sort of way is with like a quarterback, right? Quarterback of the team is blamed for the team losing. Well, never mind if they've got an offensive line that keeps them standing up so they can execute the plays, or if they're constantly being, harassed and ambushed because they don't have any offensive line to protect them. Never mind if they don't have a receiver, running back to carry the ball. They're not a one-person offense, and they have nothing to do with defense. So, if you lose a game 23-21, whose fault is that? The quarterback because they didn't get 24? It's difficult. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they could easily get some goodwill with the fandom, and it's a good name recognition. Yeah. Let's get caught up. There's another discussion I want to have as soon as I get caught up with the chat. Yeah, I hope a fresh start would re-engage those who walked away with olive branches. And that's what a Favreau can do. Lin Brennan is going to do nothing to move that bar. She's going to do nothing to move the bar. I'm certain that she is the person. There's no question, right? I mean, look at the evidence, right? Yeah. Let me get caught up. Filoni probably doesn't care. So long as he gets to have his Ahsoka story. Hey, Dave, here are your toys. Now just go over there, be a good little boy, play with your toys. It'll be all right. He's like, okay. Oh my gosh, you guys are great. Okay, and there's my friend Will Morgan. Good to see you. We're only 50 years into the Star Wars copyright span, which is about where Superman was when Star Wars came out, where Superman was before Christopher Reeve movies. Very similar. Interesting perspective. I want to bring up something else, and you guys may know I really enjoy Chillmonger's content. I saw he just went over 6,000 subs, and I was watching Chillmonger's stream. I watch some of his content when I get a chance, and he does a fantastic job of covering some of these kind of stories. And the one he has been focusing on is this DEI initiative. And, DEI has been terribly divisive around the world. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's a divisive topic. On the surface, who doesn't want there to be equity, right? There should be equity. Diversity is not on the surface, not a bad thing. Um, Equality, right? Diversity, equality, inclusiveness. None of that's necessarily bad. It's the implementation of it that's gotten the ire up of many people when the DEI initiative takes precedence over the story. And so I thought this was interesting. I'm going to share it with you guys. And the image quality isn't the best, but credit goes to Chillmonger. If you guys catch him, Chillmonger brought this to my attention. Well, in one of his streams, I caught it. And there's this, this was Disney General Entertainment Content Inclusion Standards. Now, this was the former document that led the standards of DEI for Disney and all of their production studios, including Marvel, Star Wars, Disney Animation, Pixar, all of them, right? So here, let me read this because the quality isn't great on the screen copy I got here. It says standard on-screen representation. At least 3 of the following 5 areas need to be met to fulfill the standard. Okay, so they have to do 3 of these 5. 1, characters, 50% or more of regular and recurring written characters come from underrepresented groups. Whatever that means, right? Underrepresented groups. Second, actors. So first one, characters. Second, actors. 50% or more of regular and recurring actors come from underrepresented groups. So we care about the actors' DNA or their attributes more than their skill, right? Their quality of body of work, right? These are the criticisms that DEI gets, right? We're more interested in these attributes than we are their fundamental performance, right? Third, secondary characters. Meaningful inclusion of underrepresented groups is secondary or more minor on-screen individuals, including background actors. So that's an easy one, right? Just get background actors of mixed diversity. Fine. 4, series premise. Meaningful integration of underrepresented groups in overall themes and narratives. So we're going to write the DEI into the story rather than let the story lead, right? That again, these are the criticisms of this. They may be fine objectives. It's the implementation. It's the criticism of it that bears some discussion. Then the 5th one, episodic storytelling. Ongoing, meaningful integration of underrepresented groups in episodic themes and narratives. So this was a checklist. You had to have 3 of these 5 in all of your products, all of your content in projects. So this is where we start to get a lot of complaints when you get a show and people are questioning, was that character really story-based or was it checklist? Did we put that character in to check one of these 5? Or did we put them in because they're part of the story, right? Yeah. It's all about implementation, right? And who gets to judge any of this, right? It goes before the leadership team, right? So who judges these things, and how are you making the content? Are you making it like checking the boxes? We're writing this story, and we've got to go. 3 of these 5 have to be done, right? Don't aliens count as under? No, they don't. It has to be like, people of color, gender diversity, sexual preferences, that kind of stuff, right? All that DEI kind of stuff. So Chillmonger, again, this comes from him. He then posted that checklist that we just went over has been replaced. It no longer appears on the website. Now it says we want everyone to belong and thrive. And it's a generic statement. It says at Disney, creating a welcoming and respectful environment for our employees and guests is core to our culture and business. We create entertainment that appeals as a global audience, and having a workforce that reflects consumers we serve helps drive our business. So no longer a checklist, no longer a checklist. However, still a goal to be, you know, representing people doing good things, you know. Yeah, everyone's a customer. You can't forget that, right? Can't forget your you can't forget your uh core audience. Meg, I got home in time to catch this. Hello. I'm so good to see you, my friend. Uh Star Wars Meg. Yeah, DEI stuff gets way overblown. Representation's important, accurate representation, context of what's being made matters. Right? No need to race swap, but just because someone's not white. Yeah, a straight white male, doesn't mean they're not skilled for the job. They got to quit leading off of checklists. And I think Bob Iger said this when he stepped back, said, we've got to focus on great stories with compelling characters, right? If we have great stories with compelling characters, that comes first. Write me a good story. Has to have a compelling story arc, has to be written with fantastic characters. Then, when you go to cast some of the characters, then you can look to see who is the best person to represent this character and hire that person. And keep in mind that you want to not pigeonhole the person and say, well, wait, the checklist says we don't have enough of this underrepresented group. So that group's not met. So let's find somebody that's in that group and cast them. Right? That's going at it backwards. You just say, here's the best, here is this compelling character. It's just a fantastic character. We're super excited about telling this story. Who can we get, keeping in mind to cast a broad net, who can we get the best fills that role? I think if you lead that way, you're able to accomplish far more and then have people. We need Bothans. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, Meg, we just got done talking about Lin Brennan. She's the obvious choice. Who is ready? The succession plan for Kathleen Kennedy. It's definitely got to be Lin Brennan. But will they make an announcement that they're hiring Jon Favreau as the public-facing CEO, head of the studio, and keep maybe Lin Brennan as the president of the business? So perhaps that's it, right? Yeah, Lin is actually qualified. Yes, she is clearly the most qualified person to be the president. But will they hire Jon Favreau to be the head of the studio? Right? Hollywood has long thought they were stewards of culture, so they feel like they have to make those decisions for us. Yeah, you're not wrong, KG. You're not wrong. The messaging from Star Wars lately has been wonky. Skeleton Crew's best messaging so far. Star Wars is at its best when it's telling classic stories. Amen. You're absolutely right. Yeah, great storytelling, great characters, fun adventure, right? That can't be lost. And I got to thinking about something the other day, because we're heading up on Andor season 2, and we're going to talk about this trailer next. And this trailer's coming in, and I was thinking about the trailer, and I was thinking about Andor season 1 and some of the criticism that Andor season 1 got. And keep in mind, Andor nor Rogue One got any kind of criticism over DEI, although they have plenty of DEI in them, right? There's plenty of DEI in Andor and in Rogue One. It doesn't get the criticism over it, because why? Because they've got fantastic story writing, right? The stories are compelling, just fundamentally strong storytelling, right? And then on top of that, great characters, just tremendous characters. You're never going to beat Cyril eating cereal. You're never going to beat it. But no, in all honesty. So I'm thinking about, well, what made Star Wars, like the very first A New Hope, right? What made Star Wars compelling? Was it laser swords? Was it lightsaber duels? Well, no, there was nary a lightsaber duel in it. Even the one we had wasn't really so much of a duel there, was it? Was it what was it fantastic use of the force, display of powers, superhuman, you know, powers? Was that what made Star Wars A New Hope compelling? What made it such a remarkable, revolutionary movie? Well, it had fantasy in it, certainly, right? I love fantasy. One of my favorite genres, space fantasy, but it was great storytelling, right? Of hope, the human condition, right? All of that. Just fantastic. You go back to Andor season 1. We'll get to the season 2 trailer here in just a second, but my goodness, so many things, right? So many things. Um, yeah, Meg, DEI isn't the issue. It's creating meaningful characters. Right, right. We talked about the check boxes and creating movies or creating content off of check boxes versus creating them off of compelling stories. And Bob Iger has come in and said, we're changing the direction. We're going to compelling stories. We've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten what we're about. We're about great stories. And when he came back to lead Disney. So I believe the change in direction comes from the top. And a lot of the things that are attributed to Kathleen Kennedy aren't necessarily hers in whole. Again, she's the head of the studio. Understand that. Understand there's the scapegoat context of it. But I'm just saying, I don't think Kathleen Kennedy is the devil everybody wants to make her to be. Everything bad in the universe doesn't come from Kathleen Kennedy. Everything bad in Star Wars is not creatively from her. She holds accountability as the president, CEO of the studio, but I don't think she's the originator of all things bad. Right? Matt Risman, there's my nemesis right here. I see Matt Risman in the chat. I was going back to try to find Matt's first comment. I don't necessarily see the first one, but I see this. Poking the bear. Ray goes away. Matt Risman. No. Just no. Oh, not having it. We need all the Ray things to happen. We need announcement. We need the new president CEO to come on stage and talk about how excited they are to be creating these new movies as the new president CEO of Lucasfilm that will star Ray in that checkbox we went that list. It should be 3 of these 5 things need to be in every Star Wars content. Ray is a leading character. Ray is a background character. Ray is the story arc, right? You get where I'm going? Matt Risman. Yeah. Let's see. Where are we? Forrest Whitaker made us fall in love with Saul Guerrero, whose questionable politics. Boy, I hate Saul Guerrero. I know you love him. I know you do. But Saul Guerrero annoys me. I don't like him in the Clone Wars animated series. I don't like him in Rogue One. Like, what's this fascination with Saul Guerrero? He's a turd. Like, he's terrible. He's there's nothing redeeming or likable or compelling about him whatsoever. He's completely lost, delusional, and annoying. I hate him. I just don't. But there you go. I do like Forrest Whitaker, though. Forrest Whitaker, what a great guy. Love that dude. uh, yeah, some of the production may actually go through. Yeah. Um, oh my goodness. Yeah, Andor has no Jedi or Sith. Yeah, not real Star Wars. Matt Risman. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Gilroy verse verse has the power of many great, well-written characters. I can't imagine what the change has been. Also, the state of Florida says if you show two women holding hands out of focus in the background, we're going to come down. At the heart of all of it is very end of the day. It's a great story from A New Hope. Yes, Ben, you're exactly right. Breaking news. Her replacement, Daisy Ridley, as Rey Skywalker. Yeah, Rey Nobody has been replaced with Rey Skywalker, leading the new. Are you worried the Rey movie gets scrapped? Asking for Melvin. Excuse me, still sick. Um, I am concerned because whenever you have a change of leadership, typically new leadership wants to bring in their new vision, and whatever that new vision typically wants to set itself apart from the old vision and make a delineation. This is not mine. This is mine, and so that carryover tends to be scrapped in more times than not. So I am concerned, but I'm remain optimistic and hopeful. Absolutely optimistic and hopeful for more Rey Skywalker. Rebel Sith, from my understanding, after reading that article about Disney cutting back on things, they seem to be really listening to and considering the wishes of their investors. Yeah, I think Bob Iger is correct in saying that they lost their way. They lost what made Disney Disney. Right, those movies, the animation, the great stories that are generational, timeless stories, fantastic characters, and he wants to get back to that. Says Kathy isn't Daredevil. She just wasn't good for Star Wars anymore. Meg, I only agree with that in that she has become the scapegoat for all things. Much like the head coach of the sports team analogy, it's not their fault necessarily. That neither are they the one responsible for, you say, the quarterback fumbling and losing the game. Right, the quarterback fumbled and lost the game, but a lot of times they'll fire the head coach because they need that direction of change. And I think that Star Wars has gotten to a point with its consumer base, with the public, where they need to make a change at the head coach just to earn back some goodwill of the fandom. So I'll go with that. A little example of DEI, Walking Dead fans, when they introduced Aaron, a character who has a boyfriend, they did it naturally in the story and was a great character during the season. There you go. I don't know anything about Walking Dead, so being inclusive can naturally be part of the story. Yes, yes, yes. Moff Risman came in hot with the trolling. I know. The hero's journey. Yeah. Let Watson Gilroy cook. Yeah, that's Star Wars needs. Yeah, I agree. You guys love me. I could tell. This is pure love from all of you to me. I totally get it, and I love you right back. I do. I do. I absolutely do. This is great. A majority of the investors have been pushing for them for a while to cut back on DEI. I think with the elections here in the U.S. and with the public as a whole, it's been very clear that they're trying to change direction on all of that. Bob Iger has also tried to reframe his mismanagement, helping cause industry-wide strike is making less production. Yeah, Yeah. Uh, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. Saul is great, nuanced character. I just don't like him. I don't like him. Uh, this is great. I like Saul because he has dimension to the rebel cause we haven't seen before. He's a good representation of real world politics, Meg. Saul Guerrera is definitely representation of Saul Guerrera, guerrilla, fighter in Cuba, and that's it's history. It's real world politics. It's real world history by name, right? The guy got the same name practically for all intents and purposes. He's the same character. This is Che Guevara. Che, you know what I mean. Saul's character adds to the dark side of this side of Star Wars. Yeah. All right. Let's just get caught up. Something Gareth Edwards said stuck with me. Saul is the rebel version of Vader. That's why he has the parallels, his missing limbs, respirator. He let his anger get the best of him. Interesting. You guys are the best. Yeah, head coaches get a lot of blame when the assistant coaches. Yeah. Okay, let me just get caught up with the chat because there's other things. I want to get into this trailer, right? Right? And I was just checking on Peanut. I heard her make a noise over there. All right, let's get into the trailer discussion just a little bit on Andor season 2 and some of my thoughts about this. And again, I bring up Bespin Bulletin because I love that guy. He's a good dude. You guys should just reach out to him, let him know that you miss him, let him know you love him, and we're looking forward to seeing more of his storytelling. So check on your Bespin of bulletins. Check on him, making sure he's well. I talked to him. I chatted with him just a couple weeks ago, just over a week ago. So we have the trailer. You guys have all seen the trailer. I don't have to show you the trailer. I'll bring it up just for reference. This trailer, a lot of flack over the score, right? The score is not Star Wars, 100% not Star Wars. But notice something in this trailer. The trailer, to me, take the music out, just look at the visuals, and tell me the scenes that are not Star Wars, right? So you see TIE defenders, right? You see TIEs. You see there's look there. There's Krennic. There's the Death Star. There's X-wings or what are, and then you've got the spaceships. You've got the Death Star. You've got the TIEs. You've got stormtroopers. You've got all the things. The trailer screams Star Wars, right? That's what the trailer screams. And one of the criticisms, right? You've got all the things, right? This is the trailer is so Star Wars that anyone who criticized Andor season 1 for not being enough Star Wars, this trailer is Star Wars. The whole thing, right? Saul Guerrera, Che Guevara, the whole thing is there, front to back. It is Star Wars. So anybody who hasn't caught Andor season 1, they're like, I heard it was boring. I heard that Andor season 1 wasn't even Star Wars. It doesn't have the stars and the wars and the things. It's all just boring, blah. Well, this is anything but boring and blah. This is all the Star Wars. It's lots of action. It's lots of familiarity with those Star Wars things. Matt Risman, you and I both. Right, there you go. It's got all the Star Wars in it. And so from the trailer perspective, when you're trying to reach people who maybe thought, well, this Andor thing's probably not for me because I heard it was boring, and I heard bricks and screws. Uh, bricks and screws. Who cares about real world nonsense? I want to see my Star Wars and my Star Wars. Well, this trailer's had all the Star Wars in it. It's got all of it, and you're going to be getting attention of Star Wars fans who maybe skipped Andor season 1 because bricks and screws, boring, not Star Wars. This has got all of it. And so I think from trying to meet that audience perception, trying to reach Star Wars fans, fans of the Rogue One, this commercial, right? This trailer is for you. And the music choice is odd, but also I get it, right? I get it. I think Ben says, yeah, not liking the first season, I enjoyed the trailer. Addressed some of the critiques I had. It looks more action-packed than the first season. I'm here for it. Yeah, no, didn't see any bricks, right? I did, yeah. Music is just important to Star Wars. I agree 1,000,000%. And so the critics, the criticisms of the music in the trailer, I think are valid criticisms. But at the same time, I understand maybe what they were trying to accomplish through the trailer and give them a little room on it. And I think when we actually get to the show, right, the fans of Andor season 1 are going to be tuned in for Andor season 2. Fans of Rogue One are going to see the things that they, and maybe they pick up from, they go back and watch Andor season 1. And we know that Andor season 1 has been gaining goodwill over time, right? So all of that's good. Lyrics fit. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about the song, and I've heard some bad things, right? I'm willing to give it a little bit of a pass on the music. Yeah, I'm willing to give it a pass on the music because I understand what they're trying to accomplish, and I don't think the music is going to be at all part of the actual show itself, right? It's a thing to get attention, and that I think it will do. And when you watch the trailer, you get all the memory stuff of Star Wars, and hopefully this begins to grow the interest in Andor season 2, and we'll certainly see more. Oh my goodness. We'll begin to see more Andor promotional content that's going to feel more Star Wars from a music standpoint. You're going to get those iconic scores, right? You're going to get the stuff behind them that make it feel and sound like Star Wars. In fact, there's a great video, bit of a what is it? Documentary kind of thing on A New Hope when they were making it, and how different it felt and how more impactful it became once John Williams' score was added to it. So yeah, I'm excited about Andor season 2. I thought the trailer with its music accomplished what it needed to accomplish, and I think as we get closer, it'll get better and better. So, critic looks dastardly in the trailer. I love it. Generally, that's the reactions I've seen on the large part are all very, very positive. Let's see. If I open the peanut butter, will Peanut come visit? Right? Peanut loves peanuts. Look what I've got. Yeah, she's going to come over. You're going to see Peanut land on my shoulder here in just 1 second because she loves the peanut butter. Yeah. Come on. You know you want to. She's going to make it. I do not have the Mike Porter dad joke queued up here, but I'll go ahead and read the Mike Porter dad joke. said, what was the Secretary of Safety frog particular about why? Let me start again. Why? Why was the Secretary of Safety frog particular about insects? Because he had a no-fly list. Mike Porter, hey, look what I got. You want peanuts? Huh? You want peanuts? Peanut butter. Look what I got. You want some? You got to come and get it. Come here. Yeah. She knows. She's got to come over here. Yeah. Yeah, she's making me a liar. I know. She loves the peanut butter. Every time I open it, she flies over here and she's like, "Oh, feed me the peanut butter." Look what I got. Hold on. We'll get a little. Hold on. Look what I got. Look. Ooh, peanut butter. Yummy. Yeah, she's not going for it. She's not going for it. What do they say? Never work with kids or animals. They'll make a fool of you every time. every single. Oh, there she is. Boom! I told you. You're a good bird. Yeah, you're a good bird. I told you she wants the peanuts. Here you go. Want a bite? Yeah, there she is. I told you. There you go. You're a good bird. You're a good girl. Yeah. All right, you guys. Tomorrow, just a little show planning here. Tomorrow we'll have our February members and supporters video call. I'll send out the Matt Risman. I'll send out the link to join the video call tomorrow for our members and supporters. It's a benefit for everybody here on YouTube and on Patreon to get a call with me once a month. We talk about the show. We talk about leaks and rumors, things I've heard that I cannot discuss on live streams. And we just get to hang out and talk. So tomorrow we'll do that for our members and supporters. We'll get our February meeting. I'll send out the link here shortly. And as Jedi Mike put, we do have on Patreon a like $1, what we call a $1 super chat, unlimited super chat. And if I bring it up here, I'm going to show you guys. Let's see if I can. I do have a note on my post from Anthony. Anthony says, not really a question, just an opinion. Don't watch Star Wars for what you want. That's never how Star Wars has worked. Watch Star Wars for what it is. So there's your $1 unlimited super chat. Let me just show you guys how this works. If I show it on the screen here, window, I want to show right here. So let me share this with you guys so you can see. All right, bring this up. Share this. Oh, come on. Hold on. Where'd it go? There we go. There we go. So there's the from Anthony posting the right on our Patreon only live stream questions. Watch Star Wars for what it is. Enjoy it for what it is. Look for the positive. You'll find that as you do that, you will be happier in life and far happier as a fan. So thank you all so much. You guys, thanks for being here. Matt Risman, thank you for being here as well, my friend. I appreciate it. Matt Risman told me I might be able to get him on as a guest someday. So you guys really want to see Santa hazed and given a hard time. Well, you just got to encourage Matt Risman to come on and be the Moff. No, I've got a Moff Risman theme song. I've got to have queued up when he comes on to join the show as a guest. We're going to have a Moff Risman theme song to introduce him, and it has something to do with an angel. Thank you so much for that, you guys. I really appreciate you all being here. I hope you have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, again, we'll do our video call, and then for I'm headed to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, for an extended weekend. So no show Friday. I'll be back next week. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out with me. I've had a good time talking with you. And until next time, my friends, ho, 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 Merry Christmas, and may the force be with you always. Bye-bye.